Chapter 2 Gods and Races of Rayclast. Part 1 The Nature of Gods.
Though I am a god, I have not forgotten my humanity. I care for that which I once was. There was a time before the beast, bathed in the shadows of lost memory, when men and women like you could ascend. Through rareness of quality and the adoration of their people, these few could reach out into the quickening mists of immortality and grasp the power of godhood. Mind you, transcendence is never easy. Like the pains of childbirth, it reeks of agony, tragedy, and sacrifice. The sacrifice most often being of one's humanity. That is simply the way of it. Those of us who seek the immortal throne live long enough to see ourselves become truly monstrous. Ambition is the bane of mortality. It was through ambition that we gods transcended the thick mud and thin blood of our mundane birthrights. Ambition that drove us to sustain our divine selves through the subjugation of others.
Faith given under false pretenses still carries the same power.
The gods seem to reshape the world around them wherever they go.
So, divinity doesn't just reshape the self. It changes the world around you too.
I learned all about the old gods. They were supposed to be our idols, beings of divinity that guided us through our mortal lives.
But they aren't like that at all, are they, love?
Hardly. The gods know better than we are, and nobody that is as bad as us should ever wield that much power.
Innocence derives power from divinity, which comes from the power of believers and faith. There was a time long ago when anyone with enough followers could ascend to godhood. And that was when most of the gods we know, including innocence, were created. Unfortunately, there seems to be a feedback cycle involved with divinity, in which the image the leader projects informs what beliefs the followers imprint upon the leader, perpetuating an ongoing exaggeration of traits and desires. Part 2 The Primordials.
The histories are confusing. When it comes to the culture, I believe you're asking about Otsasa, Owl, Potembo. These names are treated more like myths than historical facts. Over the years, I've spent a few of our excess newborns trying to scry for dreams about them. So far, I've seen nothing useful.
Very little survived of the culture we call the Primordials. They left only glyphs and carvings. There were a few figures of note in the books I studied. Uzaza was likely their first king. Owl, called their last king, overthrew a tyrant named Potembo, or so I believe. There was Ahkeli too, who the Marakath would know more about than I. Unlike many other cultures, their ruins are often found in the ash layer itself. It is no wonder that only stone remnants remain. The narrow path turned to rough rocks that led towards the sky, one last obstacle in a lifelong journey to find a land they could call home. Cold winds blasted what little grew on the icy surface. The gifts of the land lay hidden deeper, and only patience and persistence would free them. Sheltered beneath thick ice, the river ferried fat fish towards the sea. But the first king knew the river's secret, and the fish were not the only ones who grew fat. He surveyed his lands green and vital, watched with pride as his slaves quarried fine stone for his fortress, and thanked the heavens for his many blessings. The fields were silent, but for the plucking of fruits, the rustling of leaves, and the breaking of stone. No slave dared to speak or look the passing king in the eye, no one except all. With no stone for rebuilding, each storm took its toll on the village. Huts eventually collapsed, their occupants injured or dead. Bodies were left by the river to appease the gods, but the dead would not remain there. It was not his fearlessness or ferocity, nor his tactical genius. It was his leadership that earned all the lost king his crown. The strange voice showed all a future where his legacy was forgotten, where new cultures broke themselves upon the all's ruined world.
Built a temple around the mirror, under the earth to hide from the night sky.
There exists a vast mirror in the ground. To gaze into those perfectly polished waters is to see a mortal soul, with all its flaws and pains laid bare. There is wisdom and counsel to be had, but some do not survive the truth.
Hello guys! Thank you all for watching the video. I really appreciate if you could leave a like and comment down below what you think about this new style and audio waveforms. Yeah, it's definitely a fun project. Hoping to continue doing this. We're currently on page 8 out of 510. The next episode is gonna be about the Marakath, so this one is gonna be very, very juicy. I'm hoping to keep this style and to make it more efficient so the longer episodes don't take the whole day to make. Hope you all have a great day, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.